about preseason games. Oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants. So, Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
How are you feeling physically?
I'm good. I was able to practice, good.
Do you feel like that has it affected your play at all?
I mean, if it just happened in the game, probably. But if you was injured, took some time off, and you was able to come back, I doubt it.
Yeah, I think you got 23 sacks all of last year, and that's how many you have this year in fewer games.
Damn. Talk to the offensive line about that, then.
What?
I mean, do you, about that, man.
Realistically, I mean,
talk to the guys about that.
Do you feel the cumulative weight of some of the pressure you've been getting this year?
I mean, it's part of football, Sometimes guys will get you, sometimes they won't, Like I said, I'm talking to my guys about that. They probably ain't going to like that, though. Like, you guys telling me it's 23 sacks, they probably not going to like that.
That's, of course, Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, who was back at practice yesterday.
Who was that?
You might have heard of Lamar Jackson, who was back at practice yesterday after missing on Wednesday for a second straight week.
He's the Jackson that was not traded by Baltimore. So
that's a great point, right? I was very worried about that.
So
when
Jackson
I saw,
got traded by
Baltimore.
Baltimore?
Traded Jackson, right? Obviously, you're very concerned. But no, that's not the question. It's also when this week I've been seeing a lot about Baltimore may bring in Tucker, and I was like, after all the allegations, like, are you sure? And then apparently they're talking about Kyle Tucker, and it's a whole different thing. But I don't believe that either. So, for what it's worth, actually, if you said to me which one is more likely, I would say, don't know. But yeah, that's Lamar Jackson saying, no, he's good despite all of the sacks that he's taken. And for what he says about his offensive line, don't get me wrong, I think we all agree that the offensive line has been part of the problem. But if I said a couple of times, like, I still don't know for as much as we praise Lamar Jackson for, like in the Dolphins game, hanging in the pocket and letting plays develop, I don't know why that would be the thought process when you're facing Myles Garrett. I don't understand why that was something the Ravens had in mind, whether it's, again, between Todd Monken, the offensive
maybe Myles Garrett would
play
have an
calling.
off night.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe he wasn't inspired that particular day. He didn't want to try. And as I pointed out to you earlier in the week, all of Myles Garrett's sacks in that game came 5 seconds or more into the play. None of them were just him blowing up an offensive lineman. They were all 4 of them, sacks where Lamar held on to the ball for a while. And I get it, they're not all made equal. Like, sometimes there's nowhere for Lamar to go. I do get that. But it just seemed like maybe the strategy needed to be get the ball out. This is the typical type of play that ended up leading to a Myles Garrett sack. So, yeah, should he talk to his offensive line about it? Of course. But is it all on the offensive line? I think that might be oversimplifying the story. Friday edition of GCR. Stan the Fan Charles, our chief grand poobah here at Press Box, is in studio with us. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you both.
It's good to be back. Was,
glad to have you back.
On assignment yesterday.
Right. How'd the assignment go?
Hey.
Oh.
Hey. Hey.
Lucky you've been taking those peptides.
Yeah, right? That's a good point. I don't want to make you guys jealous, but the doctor said to me,
No.
Your butthole, quote, looks good. So, unquote.
Something you should be very proud of.
Yeah, I came home to Mrs. Clark. I said, think about how lucky you are. Doctor said, my butthole looks good. Now she said, oh, God.
Actually, when they do a colonoscopy, they're not really looking at
All right,
the
easy
butthole.
over there, Stan. I'm just trying to do some show over here. He's up over there. But yeah, that was an adventure. I swear to God. I'm like, how How can I still be going to the bathroom? At one point during yesterday's show, if you go back and watch the video, I basically slammed the headset down and run to the bathroom.
When do you look forward to having that again?
He said, now I thought it was every 5 years.
Right.
He said, I'll see you in 10 years.
Well, that's just because your butthole looks so.
I think that might be it. Like my butthole's doing so well.
Butthole.
He's like, you don't need to come back in 5 years. This is some A+ butthole you got here. I thought about making that joke on social media, but like I just don't know anymore. I'm 42. I just don't know if I can get away with the same things that I was able to get away with in my 20s on social media. I don't know. I would like to hope that people would.
You're not allowed to, we can't brag.
I shared the story about my
anymore?
kid peeing in a bottle on social media
You
last week.
you can get away with them. They're just not as funny.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
I just never know, like the place that I work. I work at so many places
I think people
now.
are familiar with
I
you
work.
at this
I
point.
work for WBAL radio, and I don't know if they're gonna be like, "Hey, Glenn, we'd really like it if you eased up on all the butthole content." Like, that'd be good for our brand if
Well, it's
you
not
did
like
a little
you're-
less butthole.
It's not like you're showing whole.
I understand that. Thank you.
I think
Not
everyone's
yet,
everyone,
anyway.
right. I think everyone's familiar with.
Is that what it is?
With who you are
At the old radio station, that was actually what we called the show. The name of the radio show was Show and Butthole. That was what it was called. Coming up in a few minutes, Anthony Becht, Jets color analyst, will join us. Are the Jets a threat with Tyrod Taylor starting at quarterback? We will talk to him about that.
I wonder how his butthole is because he's an analyst.
It's a fair, and oh my, oh. There.
See what I did there?
Stand the fan, Charles, ladies and gentlemen. Later on in the program, J.J. Cooper of Baseball America. If you were confused by the Grayson Rodriguez trade, J.J. Cooper is with you. He was very confused by the particular move that the Orioles made. We'll talk to him about that and what might be next for the Birds this offseason. Stan, I would say perplexed was the word for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best description, our friend Jake Mintz from Yahoo Sports said maybe the biggest part of we can all sit back and say, well, the Orioles clearly don't think that Grayson Rodriguez is ever going to be Grayson Rodriguez, right? And that appears clear by them making this move.
I think they kind of feel that they know what Grayson Rodriguez is.
Might be the case.
Yeah.
But there's still twofold part of it. It's how diametrically opposed that is to the way they felt about Grayson Rodriguez just 12 months, really just 10 months ago, whatever you want to say, that his status appeared to be a monumental factor in them essentially doing nothing starting pitching-wise in the offseason.
Right.
To go from that's how much faith we have in Grayson Rodriguez
Well, they had faith in him pending that he would perform this year. He didn't throw one pitch.
Understood, but
Glenn,
to go,
they just talked about him at Albernaz's.
I'm quite aware. And Mike Elias said last week to us he's a wild card, and I agree with all that. But it's a dramatic place to go in the span of just 10 months. From all to nothing is a dramatic place to go in that short of a time span. And ultimately, it might very well be that the best bet for this season. It might even be that all time. Like the Grayson Rodriguez really never will regain that, but it's still a tough place to be to go from feeling that high about it to that low about it in 10 months.
Yeah, I think the larger story here isn't what the Orioles think about Grayson Rodriguez. It's despite the skepticism here that really is born of the John Angelo's era of running the team, where they didn't really have the family fortune to spend, is that this ownership, I think the fact that they traded Grayson Rodriguez is a sure sign at how deadly serious they are about acquiring two starting pitchers.
And if that proves to be the case, then I think we're going to feel something significantly different about it. It's odd.
Suppose you get those two starting pitchers and you have a right-handed bat. You know.
I'm still in a mixed place about how I feel about Taylor Ward. Yeah. I really am. Where if you get the version of Taylor Ward that it happened a year ago where he did hit 36 home runs, that's going to be helpful. But he's done that one time. Like we're declaring him a legitimate middle-of-the-order power bat, and maybe he will be, and hopefully he is, but his career doesn't say he's definitely a 36 home run hitter. He had never hit more than 25 home runs before last year. So I don't know if that's just him as the game has changed. He has changed his approach. We talked about it with Mark Gubiza yesterday, like the way that he's just sort of decided to become the more all-or-nothing true outcome type of hitter.
Yeah, he's sort of a Mark Trumbo-esque player. Maybe not the high upside for home runs that Trumbo had, but I think he's a legitimate 28 to 33 home run guy, and I think he's proven. Remember, he's been playing with a horse crap team, where he hasn't gotten that much protection in the lineup. Trout's in and out of the lineup. Rendon's been a total disaster. There's not a whole heck of a lot on that team. He comes to a better situation. And again, the key thing is they were so inept against left-handed pitching. And this is a guy who had a plus 900 OPS against left-handed starters. Now, I wrote a column the other day that the trade was about certainty. But if my hypothesis is right that O'Neill gets traded, that's one thing. But if he doesn't get traded and he's healthy, they suddenly go, and he stays healthy, they suddenly go to a sort of a fearsome lineup against left-handed pitching.
Potentially. It's still interesting to me that, the obvious thing to say is they need starting pitching, right? And yet none of the reports are linking them to the top pitchers. They're continuing to being linked to the top bats that are available, which
I read one column that was basing this whole thing that Elias is going to go all in on his Houston connections with Valdez and Tucker, trying to get both of them. Do I see that happening? No, but I think that they're going to make significant acquisitions in the pitching category on both sides, the starters, and he needs one top reliever at least.
Inevitably, that will be how we judge the entirety of the offseason, is what happens next. There's no doubt about that. This one's a weird one for me. It is. It's weird on multiple levels. Mm-hmm. It's one of those, I hope you're right. I hope it's worth it for this season. I hope that's the case, because that 1 to 4 I can't shake. I can't shake that, I don't know. Is Taylor Ward going to be more valuable in 1 year than Grayson Rodriguez would be in 4? I don't know that. And that makes it very difficult. And the other part of it that can't be shaken is the utter failures of pitching development for this organization that we've talked about overwhelmingly. And while Grayson Rodriguez doesn't count because he wasn't drafted by Mike Elias, it's the totality of it. It's that this organization has not been able to turn their pitching prospects into, and I get it, maybe Grayson
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
Coming season, I don't think we're talking about how our pitching prospects are going to do. It's going to be about Rogers, Bradish, Kramer, and 2 other significant starting pitchers.
If that's what they get.
If I'm wrong about that, then this trade makes a lot less sense. But I got to tell you that Grayson's history with this lat problem, now he can spin it any way he wants, where he's saying that there's some connection between the elbow, the chips in his elbow, and his, that maybe he altered how he was throwing that caused that. But once that thing tears a couple times, I have my doubts whether he'll. My thing would be, I think the Angels would be wise to immediately experiment with him this year as a relief pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be stunned if they did. Obviously, it's part of the value of what you think you're getting.
I don't know what kind of innings they expect to get out of it.
Look, that's obviously a conversation. Instead, I think that when I say that, it's separate. It's 2 separate thoughts, right? It might very well be that you had no choice in the end. It might very well be they looked at all the medicals and they just said that we got to get anything that we can get for Grayson Rodriguez because it's never going to work. But at the same time, it still doesn't counterbalance the But there's been a massive pitching development problem in this organization.
Well, those are two
Massive.
separate- there's clearly, yeah.
Massive issue with that. That, as we had talked about before, if the Orioles said that's how we're going to judge Mike Elias and we're going to move, we would have all said, okay, we understand. Like, that's it. It is damning how bad the pitching, drafting, and development problem has been for this organization.
Prior to this draft this year, they had drafted 51 pitchers, and only 2 have made the major leagues, one being Cade Stroud and the other being somebody, I forget his name now,
Gillespie?
that was
Is
with
that
the
what
Marlins this past year a little bit.
Was
I
it
forget
Gillespie?
his name. He had a very similar name to somebody else. But essentially, I think Stroud has a chance to be a significant player. For
well,
the
a quality.
But
Look, I think he's part of the story. Yes.
Out of 51 picks.
Yes, that's what you got to show. 100%. It's a big part of the problem as we judge this. Hopefully this works. I know Ken Rosenthal is still banging the Kyle Tucker drum with the Orioles. I just don't even know ultimately that unless, again, they're throwing everything to the wind and saying we are going to spend wildly this offseason, and who knows, maybe they are. Maybe that is the thought process. But my gut would always have told me that they would look to get 2 baseball players for the price of Kyle Tucker.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that you're going to get one that's as good as Kyle Tucker. I'm not going to be angry if they end up with Kyle Tucker. I also have this skepticism of, is Kyle Tucker's camp using the Orioles to get the money he wants from someone else the way that a lot of guys have used the Blue Jays to get the money from where they really wanted to be over the years?
We're not really going to end up at the end of the day. If the Dodgers have set their sights on him, the Dodgers will sign
Are getting
him.
Kyle Tucker,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, completely
The same
agree.
thing with the I mean, we should be able to compete with the Blue Jays to a certain extent, but,
You mean financially?
Yeah, I mean, we should look. They're really well heeled, the Rogers family and all that. But one of the things that it falls back on, and this is not a condemnation of Oriole fan base, but at a certain point, and it's like the chicken or the egg, they need to get the attendance up, significantly to afford some of those moves. And at the same time, they need to get attendance up. They've raised ticket prices. I don't even know how much they've raised them anymore because it's sort of shifted.
It's very.
So
I think we saw like the average across the board was something like 3% on this new deal.
So, but at a certain point, and I believe it's the winning will come first. If they put a compelling team on the field, I think people will show up. But that's what needs to take place for the next 3-4 years for the Rubenstein group to feel that this is worth it. But I think they feel that they have a good handle on all this. So we'll see.
Yeah. Look, it's still, this was sort of the first significant move. I mean, other than obviously the players that accepted qualifying offers this week and took themselves off the market, the Shota Imanagas, the Brandon Woodruffs of the world. This was sort of the first blow of the offseason, and
There was that big trade between the Astros and the Braves.
Oh,
Mauricio Dubon.
Oh, right, yeah.
For Nick Allen.
That is
Wow,
that
that's
is massive.
significant.
That is a good point. Not quite as massive as Alex Jackson for Peyton Eels.
Are we saying that right?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Could not possibly tell you. Just saw it come across before the show today and decided to go with it.
Peyton Eels is a 26-year-old left-handed hitting infielder, outfielder,
A lot of potential.
and he is 5'5".
Which is
Oh.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh.
Has he ever hit a home run? Ever? Like,
he
ever?
ever
At any
Has he
level?
ever- like, if he has, it really is kind of incredible. Hang on a second.
Pretty sure.
In 2024, between 3 minor league teams, he hit 12, in fact.
Yeah.
Look at
You
that.
feel like kind of a jerk, huh?
No.
What I
Doubting
like
his-
is the I think it's 21 stolen bases. Yeah, and I also like that last year 3 teams, A-ball, Florida, that must have been a rehab, high A that was 13 games between, then 86 games at AAA. His on-base percentage with those 3 teams was .382. So for a team that had about a .310 on-base percentage, I don't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be on the team
yeah.
ultimately or not. Yeah, I get it. But Sure, you'd like anybody whose priority is getting
I like
on
Jackson.
base.
I like Alex Jackson. And I would have liked to have held on to him. But
Yeah, it's complicated when you have two catchers that are going to have to take up as much of the. Now, I mean, I get it. You need to have other options in your organization, provided there's going to be injuries. But
it's a real indication that they're holding on to Adley Rutschman.
well, it's really funny, Stan. I don't want to say that it's unfair to say Taylor Ward is pennies on the dollar, but it's not. It's clearly not dollar on the dollar for Grayson Rodriguez, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's whatever you want to call it. And it's funny because as we've talked about Adley Rutschman, I've continued to say, well, I don't think they do that because you'd be having to accept pennies on the dollar. And there is the part of me that says if they internally, like, this might just be their new way of doing business. If this is who we think this person is, then
I think they went, as the headline of my piece says, I think they went for certainty.
right. And if they said
and
we have no idea if Adley Rutschman's ever going to be Adley Rutschman again, and
I'm
so
talking about.
I know
Okay.
I'm saying that
Yeah.
I'm flushing that out next because I've been very dismissive of the idea of trading Rutschman while his value is what it is. And if the point of making the Rodriguez move is maybe he will ultimately in 2 years be the guy again, but we need something right now, then maybe they feel that way about it and just sort of say, like, whatever we can get, if it can help us right now, we just need anything that can help us right now. I still would be surprised.
I would.
But, like, it's an interesting way at looking at how they're doing business.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any factor about the thought of a lockout in 2027? I've had that brought up to me a couple of times this week.
I'm just looking at where the money is right now, and Rob Manfred can talk tough all he wants about, he's really going for this, what's it called, the salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much TV money rolling in now.
Right, that why you just did a
kill-
Netflix deal.
I just don't see it.
All right.
Yeah.
We
The
will.
bigger story to me, or the more interesting story to me, is watching this coaching staff evolve over the past 2 weeks. I think there's every indication. And look, I wasn't following how Brandon Hyde assembled his staff, but as his tenure increased, it felt like that management was kind of controlling it.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't it seem that way to you?
To some extent, yeah, to some extent.
This looks like this is Craig Albernaz's coaching staff. These are the people he wanted. They almost exclusively, with the exception of Buck Britton and Drew French, who I see no reason that they shouldn't have been brought back.
Well, the organization has definitely been high on Buck Britton for some time. There's no doubt about that.
But I really think that the people he's hired are all people he's rubbed elbows with during his baseball career, and I like it. I like it because I think this guy comes from a sort of a winning pedigree.
I think there were some Orioles fans that were hoping that John Mabry would be kept around as he appeared to be a bit of a stabilizing force last year after he was moved into a more significant role, and maybe the relationship with the holidays being relevant there, but ultimately he's not going to be a part of it moving forward. That's the reality. Today's show is brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. Whatever it is that you're dealing with as a man of a certain age, whether it's perhaps feeling like you might be low T, whether it's stubborn belly fat just won't come off, whatever you're dealing with, it's difficult to talk about sometimes, but this is a safe space for men to talk about what it is they're going through. Give them a call on Owings Mills, 443-264-4454, in Columbia, 443-266-3505, in Frederick, 240-931-3717, or visit them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. All right, Ravens, Jets coming up this Sunday here in Baltimore. First home game in a month for the Baltimore Ravens, and they'll see an old friend, is Tyrod Taylor, who they drafted and was the backup to Joe Flacco for 4 seasons, including the Super Bowl 47 title team. Will be starting for New York. Joining us now to tell us a little bit more about the Jets, he is their radio color analyst and a former NFL tight end. He is Mr. Anthony Becht, and he is with us now here on GCR. Anthony, it's Glenn and Stan here in Baltimore. It's great to catch up with you. Thank you for taking the time for us.
You got it, gentlemen. How are we doing this morning?
Everything is all right here. Anthony, I guess I start. What changes to you for the Jets now with Tyrod Taylor taking over as starting quarterback?
Yeah, I just think they're looking for a spark in the passing game. I think you guys know that the quarterback position is extremely hard to play when it's Justin Fields and what they're trying to do. You're very kind of singular on kind of what the options are for them to have success in the pass game. Run, pass, or, run, few play actions. And you got to be on point. And whether it's him not being quite as accurate as if it's a guy dropping a ball, if it's, just a sack, whatever it's been kind of everything offensively for them that really hasn't made the Justin Fields experiment work as much as everybody wants. I think from the standpoint of what Tyrod brings is, just kind of functioning within the pocket and an understanding of some of the base passes. I'm not quite sure what changes. I mean, I just think that, everybody's just got to be on the same page. Tyrod's going to have the same amount of success as, Justin Fields has in the passing game if everybody doesn't do their job at a high level, catch the football and get open. And of course, their resources from a receiver standpoint, not having their best guy, that's been, not great to have on the field, but he really wasn't getting as many touches as maybe he wanted either. So I just think, Aaron Glenn's looking for a spark. Defense has been much improved the last couple weeks. And, with an offensive line in Breece Hall, I mean, maybe they just feel like, making that change makes a lot of sense.
I guess the other thing, Anthony, that we've talked about this week, does this is part of the hope that you eliminate some of the big mistakes what you might be able to expect from Tyrod Taylor, a veteran who's someone who's played a lot in his career, that he's just not going to make the big game-changing mistake?
Yeah, I don't know if Justin Fields has really made a ton of those.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's been more of taking opportunities to make the big plays if they're there, or trusting when those plays are there to really, see, process, release on time, and make the big play. And, I just think for whatever reason, I think the biggest question mark for me always with Tanner Engstrom and his offense is, look, this is an offense that Ben Johnson kind of put together and developed, and he learned from that. And Jared Goff is not the similar skill set that he's working with in this system. So how would he, kind of tweak his system and really kind of make it work? And, there's been plays there that there's been opportunities they've missed on. There's been opportunities, whether, it's the quarterback, again, receiver, offensive line play's been steady. The run game, everybody knows that Breece Hall's getting the football, and they've still been able to kind of take advantage of the run game and be really productive. I think both of these teams are 4-5 or vice versa in the NFL, so they're holding strong there. But, when you have good running game, guys, you should have a positive play action game to go with it, and that's the difference right now they don't have.
Anthony, I'm asking a question about the coaching staff, or mainly the head coach. I read a few weeks ago that Woody Johnson was sort of up in arms about Aaron Glenn or something. I don't know how factual it is or not. None of this seems to be particularly should be put at the feet of Aaron Glenn. What do you think his standing is right now, despite a 2-8 start?
Yeah, his standing's fine. I mean, the expectation level, at least for me with this roster, was, listen, if everybody's healthy, they have a chance to compete and be in games in the fourth quarter. They've had some injuries, they've had some poor play, all those kind of things, and just the growth and acclimation of just understanding what Aaron wants, how he wants his players to be, and obviously with the trades, guys, tweaking the roster quite a bit here with two really good players, which I actually like. I think it makes a lot of sense for them. They got great equity out of it from the draft picks and the players that are involved, and it will help them. And it's up to Darren Mushi to get it right now. He's got to find the quarterback. He's got to find the players to put in place. And again, you're not going to get 2-3 years to do it. You got to get this thing rolling. And if you're going to go young at the quarterback position, which is an option, there's other options you could probably go as you get in and see who's available. How is that going to transform the team to getting wins and being more competitive? I don't know if I've heard anything negative from Woody as far as, coaching his standpoint has evolved. I just think, Woody, listen, man, he's an owner that wants the best for the team. He's said some things and been out there and put himself out there. I think it gets to everybody, and he's trying to do everything he can to help this football team get the right coaches, get the right players. And when you don't have the success that you want, or at least you want it instantly, because New York, as we all know, they want things happen yesterday. And that's just not the case. So, they're building something, and hopefully they make the right decisions moving forward to continue to grow and build this team and get it right this time.
He is Anthony Becht, Jets color analyst. He's with us here on GCR as we get ready for Sunday and the matchup here in Baltimore. Anthony, for all the negatives about where the Jets are, the truth is they've won 2 out of their last 3 games, and they were competitive against the Patriots last week. What would make the Jets a threat to Baltimore, who's not a perfect team by any stretch of the imagination, nearly lost to the Browns last week? What would make them a threat? How would this game work for the Jets to have a chance to come into Baltimore and win on Sunday?
Yeah, I think, for them, it's, defense will make some stops, which is good. They've been there. They've tackled really well. Their secondary is a much better tackling secondary. They have a lot of young players that they're working in that have played well. But I just think, how do you take away something that the Ravens do really good at? We all know they run the ball well. Since Lamar's been back, it's been really productive. Obviously, he's getting back on his feet and getting this team where it needs to be and winning in the game since he's been on the football field. And I just think offensively for the Jets, they got to find a way to pierce a Ravens defense that I think at times when I watch them play really high level, and at times there's some holes and there's some leaks. And with an offense and a new quarterback, how much of that can you attack and take advantage of so that you can put up points? Because if the game's close, guys, I mean, let's be honest, the Ravens are going to have a much higher probability of winning no close games. But at the same token, can you take advantage of those moments and those windows and those big plays when they're there? And the Jets just haven't done that offensively. So maybe this is the week. Maybe Tyrod triggers that and makes some things happen. I am interested to see how both teams go against both run games, because they're both very good. The offensive line for the Jets is talented. It's young, but they played well, and they've had success both in pass protection and also the run game. And, they're going to knuckle up. These are 2 teams that want to win in very similar fashions and very similar ways. But I think a big difference is where I see a worrisome area, if it's the Jets, is the tight end production and how they stop that pass game with other guys that aren't receivers. And I think the Ravens do a great job. Obviously, I'm excited to see a few Cyclones. My son with the Cyclones, there's a ton on the Jets. There's several guys, in particular a tight end and a corner that I really like watching in their days in the Cyclone uniform, so it's going to be fun.
Let me just follow that up to say, do we take from the last 3 weeks that this is a Jets team that obviously hasn't quit given the circumstances? Like, you talk about wanting to win in a certain fashion, but I think just the idea of wanting to win, and maybe it speaks to maybe the job that Aaron Glenn is doing, that we can read in that despite everything, this is a Jets team that has not rolled over, despite the trades, despite their guys leaving, and maybe some of the frustration, that they're not just already looking ahead to the offseason and next year.
No, they're definitely playing hard. I mean, they played their best football here the last 3 weeks. And I think, look, this is a team that the way and style they're going to play football games, guys, they got to manage the game and stay ahead of what they want to do throughout. And that's very difficult to win games like that, especially when you're not as consistent. But that's the style, and they're going to live and die with that. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to work off the run. And there's stuff there in the passing game. They just got to be more consistent on when those times come. But, yeah, I mean, again, they want to keep it close in the fourth quarter, and then they feel like if they can get there, what they're going to build, they'll be able to pull it out and win the close games. I just don't see really any dominant football teams throughout the league. I know we have, even when you look at the Broncos, these are close games every single week. So you're never really that far away, but who can do it consistently and get that belief? And I do think there's a little belief in the building that, hey, we're turning some things around. We're getting, we're playing better. We see some things. We've made some moves. We lost 2 key players, and we're still able to win and function and do things at a high level. So, again, it's just consistency, guys. It takes time. But I don't think they're that far away if they make the right pieces. But, again, they're fighting. They're still pushing. There's a lot of season left. There's a whole half a season left, and I think it's important for these players to play hard, because if they're going to be a part of what they're building, they need to play at a high level.
Anthony, I'm not taking anything for granted, but I wanted to look ahead a few weeks. You guys, your last game was that Thursday night game against your last game was a Thursday night game a week ago against the Patriots. How good are the Patriots?
I think they're well coached. They have a young quarterback that can make all the throws. And when I say all the throws, I'm talking about, he's timing throws, precision, drop throws over the second level of the defense. Very calculated on everything he does. If he's got to put a fastball in there, he does it. If he's got to layer a ball over a few guys, he does it. Extremely accurate. He's smart. They have a great plan around him. Like Vrabel's got a stat. Like Josh McDaniels is thriving right now because he's got a quarterback kind of like Brady that gets it. Like they were in empty a ton versus us. Like you're putting a lot of trust in your quarterback, but man, just picking apart, finding the open guys. They have weapons. Diggs was a very good player on the field when I watched him. He's coming off a couple good games, and that running back Henderson is really, really talented. So, I mean, listen, defensively they're always going to be strong. Not a lot of names, guys, but they play good together as a group. So when you put out that all together, guys, it just makes it hard. It makes it tough. Now, how will they survive in those moments when the quarterback's never been in those situations as they get deeper towards the playoffs and then December games? Those will be, the question marks that will rise to see how he performs. But right now, he looks very comfortable to me. I don't see anything where there's hesitation. I see a guy that's crystal clear in what he's doing offensively and knows where he wants to throw the football with a great running game behind it and a good defense, and it's well coached. Look, they're a factor, however you want to shape it up.
Yeah.
He is Anthony Becht, and he will, of course, be here for the Jets and their broadcast on Sunday as they take on the Baltimore Ravens. Anthony, really appreciate you taking the time for us this morning, man. Thanks so much for doing this. Enjoy your trip in. Look forward to seeing you, all right?
Happy holidays to you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Take care. Happy holidays as well.
Anthony Becht with us here on GCR ahead of Ravens-Jets this Sunday. And I have some weird trepidation about this game, not because of the Jets, because of the Ravens.
If we were doing our thing today, our picks thing, we both picked the Ravens minus 13.5. I was driving in today, and I was saying, I just have a feeling I should have gone the other way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big number. I think the
You want to go the other way?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I just think No, we already made the picks. I just think coming home is a factor, a significant factor at this point.
I'd lay 21 if I could.
21.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we're going to win by 21?
At least, yeah.
Griffin had the Texans last night, too.
Wow.
So,
Pretty-
yeah, he's
Going
off to a good start to the
You
weekend.
going to Arundel Mills?
Live
casino?
I may have to make a trip out there. You never know.
Put a little.
Put a
You
little,
could actually
a little extra
go
on there.
Saturday and do it. Right?
Combine the Terps obviously with the upset.
Yep.
And
Right?
then-
You're calling a straight up upset.
I mean, a Johnny Holiday game. Why
Terps
can't I?
on the money line, you're saying. Wow. That is bold.
Do the Terps play Saturday, the basketball team?
No, they do not play again until Monday night.
That's in Vegas,
Yes,
right? Okay.
correct.
Who are they going to play in the first game? UNLV?
UNLV, then Gonzaga on Tuesday. I think the UNLV game is
that's 2
I think
wins.
the UNLV game's at midnight on Monday night, if I remember correctly.
Can the new recruit?
No, Baba, no, he
He can't
cannot
come
cannot
immediately?
play next week.
Jeez, they do play midnight.
Yeah, they
It
play.
probably will be later
If they
because they're
did
waiting
that,
for
would he
another team.
ruin his
Might be
high
true.
school eligibility?
I mean, there'd be a lot that would be problematic about it. Cannot do that.
Have we
I think. By the way, I think I just found out I'm doing a basketball game tonight where the team that's coming to play Stevenson is traveling with 5 players.
Oh my goodness.
I swear to God,
Coach, I'm available.
I've gotten 2 updated rosters, and the most recent updated roster I got, I looked at it, said 5 players. Said, is that for real? Like, are they?
Zone defense.
I guess. I literally realized I might have to sharpen my knowledge of how many players you have to have on the floor. Like, what happens when somebody fouls
Well, and
out?
Stevenson just gives a player to them, right?
Is that the way it works?
That's how we did it in
Like,
like third grade. Yeah.
Go put the other
Yeah, they
uniform
bring in
on.
volunteers. I'm volunteering now.
I don't know if it's gonna work.
You
that
have my
way,
phone
Stan.
number.
I do.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that's.
I'm
what's,
only 5 minutes
I'd
away.
love to
great
see
point.
Stan out there.
Yeah, right. That's wild. All right, when we come back in,
Have they come out with an actual injury diagnosis to Payne for
I
Payne?
believe they still have said nothing. I believe they have
He
still.
was walking on
managed
his
to-
own on Wednesday night. Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard he was walking on the campus on Monday.
there
and
were
then
people
I
that
hear
said
it's
that.
a season-ending injury. So
There's.
can be mutually exclusive.
Hang on a second.
You want to break and we'll get an update?
Yeah. There you go. That's exactly what we should do. Apparently, Chris Nockey said something about it. Well, Buzz Williams did, and Chris Nockey did. So I'll try to read through that and share it with you. J.J. Cooper, Baseball America, is going to join us, share his thoughts on the Orioles this offseason. That's next. Stan's here, Glenn Clark Radio.
Get ready to hit the ultimate holiday jackpot at Live Casino during the live action $1 million giveaway. Every Friday through December 26th, we'll draw 25 lucky cash winners, but only one winner each Friday will advance to the final rounds on December 26th, where you could win $1 million in just 3 spins. Come make your million only at Live Casino at Earndown Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack. Costas is your place to go. Check out the website, CostasInn.com, for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Looking for Baltimore's premier waterfront dining experience? Head to Nick's Fish House, located in the Baltimore Peninsula. Enjoy crabs all year long, plus happy hour Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6. Planning a celebration? From rehearsal dinners to corporate crab feasts, Nick's is the spot to make it unforgettable. And the fun doesn't stop there. Live music fills the air every Thursday through Sunday. Check out the full lineup at nicksfishhouse.com. Nick's, it's where Baltimore comes to eat, drink, and play by the water.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
Just the update from Chris Nockey was just that the X-rays were negative and he appears to be okay. It was just this was something he said on 105.7. He said, I was worried that he had broken the lower leg or something, but as you know, they'll splint you right away if there's a fracture on the floor. There was no splint. In retrospect, he got on the bus smiling after the game. Obviously, he was sore. He said they had X-rayed his hip, but everything seemed to be fine.
Great.
So. Yeah, obviously, Pharrell Payne didn't play against Mount St. Mary's on Wednesday, but we will see if he is back out there next week in Las Vegas for those 2 games.
I won't call it miraculous.
Yeah, given what we were all seeing, there is no doubt
for,
about it.
Joy.
They could also really use Miles Rice back for those games. We will see if that ends up being the case. I don't think they're going to make the call, but I'll pass along.
Another clear case of age.
That's a great point. That's probably what it is. Stan is here. If you missed he and Luke Jackson reacting to the Grayson Rodriguez trade this week, you can find it facebook.com/PressBoxSports. Click on the videos tab. Go to youtube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan's show is brought to you by the Costas Inn and the all-new Costas Inn, now open in Timonium at the Grandstand. Let's find out what our next guest thinks about that move and what the Orioles might do moving forward. He actually wrote about it at Baseball America. He is J.J. Cooper, and he is with us now here on GCR. J.J., it's Glenn and Stan here in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
How are you doing?
We're all right, JJ. I think we are still kind of wrapping our heads around it. And I think the initial shock of the Orioles maybe openly acknowledging, hey, we don't think Grayson Rodriguez is ever going to be what we thought he was going to be, turning into, does this lead us to believe that the Orioles have a distinct plan for addressing this offseason and trying to be aggressive, sort of sways where my confusion overall about this one particular move.
Yeah, I would say that obviously it's hard because we're evaluating trades individually, but the real question is okay, what does the total puzzle look like here when it's all said and done? I've kind of had a couple minutes, some time to think about it. One thing that does strike me is I think anyone looking at the Orioles kind of agrees that they need more pitching. That was obviously a real problem last year. But it did also strike me that this is a team that, if I look at where they are now compared to where they were coming into the 2025 season, they actually are on the starting rotation probably in better shape. Because at the start of the season in 25, they knew that Bradis was not going to be back until mid to late season at the earliest. Obviously, it ended up being, longer than maybe they thought. Grayson Rodriguez was a question mark of injury. He ended up not pitching at all. But even if you said, okay, they thought that Grayson Rodriguez might be back at some point, they kind of went into that season where Trevor Rogers was a big question mark. They were depending on Sagano. They were depending on Charlie Morton. Before long, they were calling on pretty much anyone who could throw Kyle Gibson was out there getting shelled. You look at it right now and you say, okay, Trevor Rogers, you can feel much better about if you're an Orioles, if you're Orioles now than you were at any pitcher you had coming into last year in the rotation. And then Bradis should be back. I think obviously they have Wells, they have Povich, they have Kramer. Now the real question is they need, whether it's front or mid rotation, they clearly need, I think, another significant starting pitcher. But the other big question with this is okay, so that's one thing they need to do. The other is how do the puzzle pieces all fit together, here lineup-wise. And, Ward obviously has power, but at the same time, it's really going to be more about, does Adley Rutschman get back to, form? We could go down the list. Westberg, Holiday get better? Is Basayu have a breakout year? There's a lot of unknowns that feel like, but we don't know how the puzzle pieces are all going to be put together.
I think you make an excellent point, JJ. I think this is really about a signal that the Orioles are deadly serious about adding to this pitching staff in the starting rotation area. Who are some of the possible suspects for the Orioles to actually do a deal with?
The one that just seems to make, again, this is not, I want to be clear, this is not reporting where I've gotten, that they're interested in that. But if I'm looking out from the outside, Sander Valdez seems like he would fit very well in this team. That would give them another playoff caliber starter. And obviously there are a lot of people in the Orioles organization who are in the, Astros organization. There is familiarity there. That would be one that just jumps out to me as a very logical path, and one that, it's going to cost money, but it's not going to be something where you say it's break the bank. But then that would also be, it probably would involve signing a pitcher to a longer term deal than the Orioles have traditionally done in recent years.
I guess the other question is, if the Orioles aren't going to spend that way, who are it's not going to be Skubal, JJ, right? I don't think that's where they'd be shopping. But are there other?
I'd be willing to give up Mountcastle.
That's a great point.
Cowser.
That's a great point. If they'd be willing to do that. But are there other plausible trade candidates the way that they did this with Corbin Burns 2 years ago that maybe aren't Tarek Skubal?
I would say that the names that would make the most sense, the most logical sense, would be to take a look at what happens. And we don't know, but are the Twins willing to trade? They have Pablo Lopez. They have Joe Ryan. Now, we don't really know yet whether the Twins they obviously sold at the deadline, but did they sell at the deadline where they traded their entire bullpen, they traded Carlos Correa and salary dump and all that? Was that hey, we're going into a rebuild, or was that we're not going to win this year, so we're selling off bullpen pieces and a high-priced veteran, but we're going to try to, run it back next year and see if we can be back in contention. We don't know that yet.
Right.
If they are looking at it more as a rebuild, I would say that either of those pitchers would fit very well. And, I do think obviously that there are a wide array of ways that the Orioles could put together, packages that might fit for that. Now, again, the question is we do not know yet if the Twins are going to be putting those guys on the market or not. But if they do, some young outfielders from this group, again, they do have a number of prospects, maybe a guy like a Nate George or Esteban Mejia in the minor leagues, guys, Luis De Leon. They have a number of guys that could be intriguing prospects to trade in a deal too, where that might be a fit.
He is J.J. Cooper, editor-in-chief at Baseball America. He's with us here on GCR. JJ, I wonder what you make. It's interesting to me that after acquiring Taylor Ward, some of the big national reporters are still linking the Orioles to bats, right? and in particular, Kyle Tucker. And you bring up Framber Valdez. Obviously, there's also the fact that Mike Elias was involved with Kyle Tucker in Houston. But I guess, one, what exactly are the Orioles getting in Taylor Ward? It's one of the parts that I'm struggling with is we know he hit 36 home runs a year ago, but he had never hit more than 25 before that. Is he a definitive middle-of-the-order bat at this point, the way that he's changed his game? Do the Orioles still need one of those definitive middle-of-the-order bats?
If they do, then I would say if they do, it means that the core that they've had here, something's gone wrong, right? That's not to me, when I look at the Orioles team and say, there's a lot that went wrong last year, obviously. But there's a lot that went right the 2 years before that. Well, if Adley Rutschman gets back to his mid-2024 form, then that's a middle-of-the-order bat. Gunnar Henderson, who wasn't as good last year but still is very good, but that's a middle-of-the-order bat, right? Now, is Samuel Basallo ready in 2026 to be a back of the middle of the order, right? Maybe I don't think you want him batting cleanup, but maybe he can bat fifth or sixth and really provide power. But then the interesting thing to me about this is I think Taylor Ward's a fine player. I don't think this is not a star. This is someone who's never been a star. He did hit 36 homers this year. He traded batting average and on base for power. It was the best power he's ever had in his career. It was also the worst batting average and the worst on base. He hit, he did not hit for average. He did not get on base at an average clip for a major league, position player. And he had real power this year. So I think that's a solid addition. But I do think when you say, how are the Orioles successful again in 26, I think a lot of that comes back to, if you went almost across the board, if you look at the Orioles lineup going on opening day 2025, I don't know if you can point to, other than Ramon Laureano was traded away, I don't think you could point to really anyone in that lineup who had the year expected of them or better, right? There were a whole lot of players who had worse than expected years. And there really wasn't a whole lot of players you could point to and say, that guy had a breakout year. The Orioles need to have guys have closer to, if Gunnar Henderson has a year more like what he had in 24 than 25, if Adley Rutschman goes back to what he had in 23, in the first half of 24, if Jordan Westbrook's healthy and has the year that he's had in the past, if Jackson Holiday takes a step forward, Kobe Mayo, if he's not, an easy out at the plate, Colton Cowser took a step back. There's a lot of players where they have to get them back to where they've been. But the weird part of this is if they do go in for Kyle Tucker is, okay, at that point, if they did go after Tucker, if they did sign Tucker, it means that a lot of these young outfielders, and I would say now young-ish outfielders, they're not as young as they used to be, who the Orioles have spent a lot of draft capital to draft and develop. They're not really part of the plans then. Heston Kierstead looks like he's probably not much of the plans anymore, but Dylan Beavers made it up last year. Colton Cowser, there's a slew of others who, they just added on, not saying Reed Trimble's a guy you clear room for, but just added him to the 40-man. Enrique Bradfield will be in AAA. Judd Fabian will be in AAA. This team has put a lot of draft capital into outfielders And I'm not saying you can't obviously trade from surplus, but a lot of these guys don't have – Heston Kjerstad does not really have trade value now.
Right.
I don't know how much trade value Colton Cowser has at this moment coming off the season he just had.
So,
like, it's not going to be something where you're going to be getting blockbuster returns for those kind of players right now.
JJ, let me ask you, one player you omitted talking about at all was Tyler O'Neill. And one of the fits I see with Tyler O'Neill would be, say, the Pirates, who are talking about going after Kyle Schwarber, that they want to, and I don't see any way in the world Kyle Schwarber is going to sign with the Pirates. But suppose the Orioles offered them Tyler O'Neill, paid off half of his contract, and got back Mitch Keller. Maybe we add another player, maybe they add another player. But does that seem possible to you?
It would seem like if I was the Pirates, that's an overpay. I think that Tyler O'Neill at this point, the reality of it is Tyler O'Neill in 2 of the last 3 years has been kind of a truly, I would say a mediocre player at best.
Right.
You're not paying him a mediocre salary. And, like you said, if you're paying some of the salary, it helps.
Well, I'm saying half of it. In other words, the Pirates would owe him like $8 million a year for 2 years.
Tyler O'Neill as an $8 million player, if he produces like he did last year, is not a useful player on your team.
Okay.
He's got to be better than that, right? Now, he was 2 years ago. That's why he got the contract. But at this point, I think he doesn't have, considering his age, considering kind of the production we saw from him last year, I don't know how much – I think he's a reclamation project if someone takes him on. I don't think he really has value. Kind of same with Ryan Mountcastle. I don't think Ryan Mountcastle has a lot of value in a trade right now because –
None. Zero.
They're coming off of seasons. I mean, O'Neill was a 199, 292, 392 hitter last year. Didn't have a ton of power. He had 31 homers the year before that, hit 9 last year.
I hear you, but Keller, and clearly you don't agree, but Keller's number, I'd like Keller, but he's not exactly coming off of a near Cy Young season. He was like a 4.5, 4.6 ERA guy.
Mitch Keller's been much better than Tyler O'Neill, in my opinion. Mitch Keller, the key thing that Mitch Keller gives you, Keller's coming off of a year where you could say basically I would describe him as kind of he gave you league average production, but the key thing with Mitch Keller is he gives you durable production about year after year.
Agreed.
You can really, he's a pitcher, but you can kind of pencil him in for 170 innings. Over the last 4 years, I happened to look this up yesterday. Over the last 4 years, Mitch Keller is 10th in the major leagues in innings pitched.
Okay.
If you put the last 4 years combined. There has real value. Like if you look obviously at the Orioles, so like if the Orioles acquired Keller, and I think that he would make a lot of sense for them, yeah, you're not going to slot him in. He would be your number 3 starter in the playoffs ideally at best. But the other thing he gives you is if he can continue, he's a pitcher, there's always risk, but the durability he's shown to have like this is going to be 170 innings of, let's just say, a league average starting pitcher. There's a real value to that, and I think that is, and his contract is such, there's a value at the contract price where it's like, okay, that's valuable to a lot of teams. If you said, hey, this guy's going to help ensure that you cover those, the innings you need to get out of your starting pitchers. Not you're going to give you innings in May, April and May, but then he's going to miss June, July, and August. This is a guy who's really shown a lot of durability.
Okay.
JJ, is there anything, I know Iglesias came off the board, is there anything you look at the closer market and say, this to me is what would make most sense if the Orioles really are in the market for an experienced closer?
I know I saw the reporting and all, like, hey, that would be a new approach for the Orioles, wouldn't it? Like
100%.
I kind of, my expectation, whether right or wrong, this is purely my speculation, but my expectation is more that they're going to shop in the if you look at their current constructed bullpen, I think they absolutely are going to shop for veteran relievers. But I think they're going to shop more in that kind of second tier, not the proven closer tier, but, not the Devin Williams tier, but more in the, there are a number of other guys out there where you're like, hey, we like this guy. and we think we can do this with this pitch, or we can adjust this a little bit and see if we can unlock something. And I don't think that that's a crazy idea. Yeah, when you talk about the volatility of relievers, and you talk about that the Orioles have shown, it wasn't as good, but they have shown an ability to kind of unlock things in relievers in past years. When we talk about the guys who have ended up being kind of the successful relievers for the Orioles over the last 5 years, a lot of them are kind of these second-tier guys who then turn into more higher leverage guys in their bullpen.
JJ, what can we plug for you, man?
So we are busy on prospect season already here at BaseballAmerica.com. Today we actually finished putting out the last of our National League top prospect list. So Padres are up today. That's 15 top 10s are up with our offseason prospect list scouting reports on the top 10 prospects. We roll into the AL East next week. So the Orioles are coming up real soon. It's again, this is a farm system that actually has a number of pretty intriguing. Especially pretty intriguing arms in it.
Can you give what I wanted to
get a little bit more pitching?
Can you tell me where you're at now with Enrique? Like again, they don't have a definite center fielder on the roster. I know Enrique Bradfield looked really good at the Arizona Fall League, but that's somewhere he should be looking good at this point in his life. Like, where are you guys with Enrique Bradfield at this point?
He's a great defender.
Yeah.
I think there are real questions about the bat, but like if you said that you're looking at him to give you the kind of defensive, like if you're saying we want a great defender, he's better than anyone they have, without a doubt, right now. He also can really run, like he can steal bases. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of power there, and it comes to hitting for average. I don't think there's, he hasn't shown yet that he's going to be a great hitter for average yet either. So you have kind of those, if you want to go with a glove-first center fielder, he's ready to do that. If you want someone who's going to kind of give some offensive impact in addition to that, I don't know if he's ready for that yet. So that's kind of where it stands on him as a center fielder right now.
At JJ Coop 36 is how you follow him. Of course, BaseballAmerica.com. JJ, always appreciate it, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Good to talk to you guys.
It's JJ Cooper with us here on GCR. I am intrigued by how center field ends up playing out. They've had a lot of opportunities to say definitively that Colton Cowser's their guy, and they're not saying that. And I think that maybe speaks back to what you're talking about with certainty versus uncertainty. Like at this point, there is no certainty revolving around Colton Cowser. So how do you just give him a spot? How do you continue to just say, but he's got to be the guy because he's been in the system? So that does continue to fascinate me, how center field plays out for the Orioles. Today's show also brought to you by the aforementioned Live Casino and Hotel, where it's never a bad time to be, but particularly big games, those amazing atmospheres whenever there's a major event going on, sports and social.
Never know when you'll run into Griffin.
Getting cashing in after he was on the Texans last night. So make your plans, make a weekend out of it this holiday season at Live Casino and Hotel, sports and social, the 100-foot media wall, great food and drink specials, all of it.
He's amazing, Griffin Bell. He's almost as amazing as...
Who's Griffin Bell?
Griffin Bell.
Because I actually believe that Griffin Bell might be amazing. Yeah. I think that might. I don't think you made an error there. I think you got that one right.
Whatever his name is, Griffin.
Hey, when we come back in, we're going to check in with my buddy AJ Francis, former Terp, former NFL defensive tackle. He's hosting his annual food drive at the Maryland football game tomorrow. So he's going to check in with us for a minute. Then we'll get a tidbit. We'll get tubular, and we will wind things down for a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack. Costas is your place to go. Check out the website, CostasInn.com, for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Don Marcus profiles new Maryland Athletic Director Jim Smith, breaking down the challenge he faces in his new role and the unique background he brings to the job. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg takes an in-depth look at Orioles outfielder Dylan Beavers. And we meet college basketball players from all the programs around the state before the season gets underway. Press Box is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region. And starting this month, you can find us at Baltimore area High's Dairy Store locations. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Get ready to hit the ultimate holiday jackpot at Live Casino during the live-action $1 million giveaway. Every Friday through December 26th, we'll draw 25 lucky cash winners, but only one winner each Friday will advance to the final rounds on December 26th, where you could win $1 million in just 3 spins. Come make your million, only at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Friday edition of the program. Today's show also brought to you by County Sports Zone. CountySports.zone is the website for you to find out everything related to high school sports here in the state of Maryland. As we are moving right along, there have already been a lot of private school championships given out. Now the public schools are getting closer to championship season, particularly at the football level. Obviously, the Turkey Bowl next week between Calvert Hall and Loyola. Find out everything you need to know. CountySports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. What's the big weekend plans in the Stan the Fan household?
And then there's
all of that in one weekend, Stan?
And
it seems like a lot.
watch the Jets-Ravens game.
Okay, all right.
Sunday.
So that's a lot. You got a lot going on, man. I don't know.
Oh, and
how
I
you-
forgot. There's also I'm doing the
Now wait a second.
Yeah.
You still have time for that?
I've got plenty of time.
Man.
I started taking the peptides.
Well, that's smart. That's
And
smart.
suddenly I got
all of a
time
sudden
for
you got
everything.
lots of energy. You're
Yep.
ready to go. Yeah.
And my butthole.
Well, yeah. Now, did your doctor tell you that? Because my doctor told me that. My doctor said very clearly that my butthole, quote, looks good, unquote.
Wow.
10 years. 10 years, he said.
A lot can happen in 10
A lot can
years.
happen in 10 years. I could be right back in there next week. Who knows? But that's what he said was
That's
10,
great. That's fantastic.
10 years, man. I got to tell you, I hadn't been knocked out in a while.
It's pretty good.
It
isn't it?
is like, it really is amazing.
It's
like they wake
10,
they wake
9,
they wake
8,
yeah they wake you up and you're like, what are we doing? What? And they're like, yeah, you're done. I'm like, what the hell? What are you talking about? I'm done.
Did you go under? Was it propofol?
I don't know what it was. I didn't ask. You think I asked questions? I just said, give me the good stuff. I'm Glenn Clark. Give me the good stuff. We'll make it work that way. All right. We are my weekend plans this weekend include I will be at the Maryland football game tomorrow as Maryland takes on Michigan, trying to keep their bowl hopes alive. But far more importantly, I will be there to help our next guest as he hosts his annual
Always
food
doing
drive.
Good stuff. Always doing good stuff.
This man has been doing this for a long time. He's a former Terp, played in the NFL for a long time, noted podcaster, and now a star on TNA Wrestling. And Casey Navarro deserved better, as Griffin shared at this summer over at UMBC. He is my buddy, AJ Francis, and he's back with us here on GCR. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you doing? And I would like to point out, I got to be the best heel in wrestling because the night before I kicked Casey out in Baltimore, I was like the biggest babyface in the arena because it was my hometown crowd.
The hometown crowd,
and that same exact crowd the next night
hated
you.
Hated you. How dare you do that? By the way, Leon Slater, that's dope.
Yep.
That's
going to be a huge match. My first X Division title match. So, you know, if you watch my match with Nick Nimitz for my first TNA World title match, know that I understand living up to the legacy of something. So, the X Division title match with Leon Slater at Final Resolution is going to be crazy.
That is awesome, man. That is going to be really cool. All right, let's talk about this because this is the 9th annual AJ Francis Canned Food Drive.
9 years already?
Stan. I joked about it earlier. I actually think there's a chance that I've been there for more AJ Francis Canned Food Drives than AJ has over the years. I think that's possible. But, dude, for people that don't know the background, why this was something you cared about, why it's been so important for you to keep it going, give us the whole rundown.
You know, Sarah's House is a shelter that is mostly children, actually, and it's in Fort Meade, Maryland, right across the street from Fort Meade Army Base, down the street from Meade High School, where my parents actually went to high school, and like my grandmother lives 5 minutes from Sarah's House. Like it's my community, man. It's where I'm from. It's where I grew up. It's the people that I support, and like I said, it's mostly kids, man, and they're, you know, running away from bad situations at home. Some maybe they're homeless, maybe they're with their family or their mother and running away from a domestic violence situation, or sometimes, you know, their house burns down. There's a million different reasons that people end up at Sarah's House, but that doesn't make them any less deserving of grace and, you know, the things that we need in life. So I've been doing events with them since I was a kid. And, you know, this is my 9th annual canned food drive that we're doing Saturday. And if you just bring breakfast bars, really breakfast bars. Did you already buy you already bought a ramen or what?
Oh, dude, I'll be going out tonight. You want me to switch it up and do breakfast bars instead?
Yeah. Go breakfast bars. The kids really like the breakfast bars.
We'll go that.
You know, breakfast bars, but, you know, ramen's still cool. Canned goods, non-perishables, baby wipes, baby formula, anything that, you know, like you think that they could need. It'll go to a great cause. All you got to do is bring it to the gate at the stadium before the Michigan game, and, you know, we'll be able to put it all together, and I'll be taking it to Sarah's House myself.
AJ, tell me how receptive was the University of Maryland to working with you on this when you first came up with the idea?
So it was funny because I when I started doing it, I wasn't doing it at the University of Maryland.
Okay.
And then like year 2 or year 3, I switched it to the University of Maryland, and every year they get more and more involved. Originally, it was just like I made a phone call. I was like, I'm going to be outside the stadium. They were like, okay, cool. You know, and now it's evolved to, you know, the athletic department is making sure that I need everything I need. They're setting up all the cans for the bins for us. They're setting up, you know, me coming to the basketball game to promote it at the basketball game. And then you know, I did, you know, Coach Loxley's radio show last night with Johnny Holiday to promote it. And, you know, Scott Van Pelt put it on ESPN last night.
Wow, that's great.
You know, and then like, you know, and then I'm doing the kickoff hype video this Saturday at kickoff for Michigan. So, you know, for Maryland against Michigan, but, you know, so they get more and more involved every year, and I couldn't be more grateful, especially this being the 9th year. Next year is going to be even bigger. In year 10, I got to do something crazy. I got to do the Shawn Michaels off the
the top rope,
the press box.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Down to midfield. We just got to find a cable big enough to hold me. But
AJ,
Yeah,
how about in year 10 we do a dunk Glenn Clark in the water?
He's going to do that
like
to me
where
anyway.
Where people
I love
throw.
that idea.
Yeah, you don't
Isn't that
understand.
a great idea?
AJ. The way that he shares his love is he just kicks my ass. That's actually the way that this works.
Well, we could have a fight in the ring too.
And it wouldn't be the first time I've been thrown in the water by AJ. He used to have a gator pond in his backyard, and I ended up
in that
straight shoot. I ended up in the gator pond in AJ's backyard once.
And you still talk to him?
Actually.
That's a
and
fact.
You still talk to him?
No, I lost a bet. That was on me. That wasn't on AJ. That was on me. Tomorrow. Okay, so what time are we starting? Give me the whole rundown for this tomorrow.
So the game is at 4:00. So that means we'll be out there collecting cans as early as 2:00.
Okay.
In front of the stadium. I'll be there before that because I'm gonna tailgate, but. Not everybody's expected to come tailgate with the kid. If you want to come tailgate, Glenn, you're more than welcome.
All right, I'll come. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. So
I didn't know you might have to go to like a CYO basketball game and watch your son score 4 points.
You think? I wish he was scoring 4 points, bro. I wish. We gotta work on his attack. We gotta work on the moment he gets the ball. He is looking for one of his buddies.
he's like, get this way from me,
bro. It is bad. Like soccer's his sport, man. Like he's got attack. Basketball, he is just happy to be there. He is. We got to work on.
Too bad he can't use his feet on the basketball.
Oh God, man, he would be in a way better shape if he could. Oh, it's bad. It's bad. In baseball, he's good. Soccer, he's good. Basketball, we got problems. We got lots of troubles. Maybe Uncle AJ could come over and help out.
Let's help him.
Man, we could use it. We could use it big time. So starting at 2 tomorrow, and I have sweetened the pot. For those of you that can't make it out to the game, if you Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App me at least $25, for every $25 you donate that I will go then turn around and spend on more breakfast bars and things of that nature, then I will let AJ give me a chop to the chest. Yes. And we will...
I want to choke slam through a table.
I mean, if you got a table, we could... If somebody... What's the number? You tell me the number, and if they donate that, I'll go through a table.
$500.
$500. For $500, I'll let AJ put me through a table. 100%, I'll do it. You put $500 in. You get together with some friends. Y'all put $50 in. Whatever it is you're doing. $500 is the number. There you go. You can. But $25 for every $25 you donate, I'm letting him chop me on the chest. All right. And for those that don't know,
describe what is a chop?
It's a Ric Flair chop. It's open palm. It is. And from a man of AJ Francis'
worse than a choke slam.
100%, it's worse. Well, I don't know about AJ's. AJ's got the most devastating choke slam in the business. But yeah, I will do that for every $25 you donate. At Glenn-Clark on Venmo, Glenn Clark 180 on PayPal, Glenn Clark Radio on Cash App, and we will make sure that goes to what AJ is collecting. Yeah, this is a big moment. This is a big moment that you might be able to take me out. Hey. AJ, before I let you go, Kyle Hamilton has literally lined up at defensive tackle a few times this season. Mm-hmm. Like, he's legitimately playing every position there is defensively. We don't have a stat, right? It's not like he has 20 interceptions or anything like that. But can you describe how insane it is what Kyle Hamilton is doing defensively right now?
Well, to put that in perspective, when I was in the NFL, I feel like me and J.J. Watt were the only people that played every D-line position from 0 technique to 9 technique over, like, my career. And I just did it because he did it because he got to do whatever he wanted. I did it because I was just trying to stay on each team, right?
Right.
So I was just doing what I had to do. But that just doing that at defensive end or D tackle and playing everywhere on the D line is unheard of. So to be a safety that plays linebacker and D line is insane, right? That's just like that shouldn't be possible, right? Like there's certain things that you should be able to, like, everyone in the league is a professional and everyone in the league is a world class athlete, and yet some people just shine brighter still. And it's insane. And you get it at multiple positions, like when you see a guy like Saquon at running back or Lamar at quarterback, they're just that much better than everybody else. It's insane, but it's crazy to see that like I wish that I could go back in time. I think I could have been Kyle Hamilton if I just laid off the cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
If I just laid off cheeseburgers and French fries a little bit.
Yeah. What's the place?
I think I had a chance.
What was the place down there with the chili dogs that you like so bad in Anne Arundel County?
Roy's Pit Corner?
Yeah, Roy's. Yeah, you imagine not going to Roy's in your life, and then maybe it was an option.
I felt that way about myself. I could have been Jerry West.
Yeah.
If I had any talent.
Right, well, that would have helped.
Yeah.
Right, 100%.
If I had any talent.
That would have helped. All right, tomorrow, starting at 2 o'clock, we are collecting canned goods. We need breakfast bars. We need baby formula.
Yeah.
We need anything non-perishable that can help out the folks at Sarah's
you say,
house.
the wipes, too?
Yeah, wipes, all of it. And again, the deal for every.
I can't give up my wipes.
I understand. Well, for you, I don't doubt.
Yeah,
every $25 you donate, if you can't make it out, you can hit me up, Venmo or PayPal. I'll take a chop from AJ, and $500 he can put me through a table as the 9th annual AJ Francis Canned Food Drive tomorrow at the Maryland-Michigan game. Love you, brother. I'll hit you up. I'll come join you beforehand. Appreciate you as always, my dude.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, AJ.
It's AJ Francis, the Terps legend, longtime NFL defensive lineman.
I didn't realize he was doing it that long. That's great. It's growing every year.
Yeah, I mean it's something he's cared about very deeply. Even when he was in the NFL, made sure he figured out a way to be there, to come back. WWE's always made sure to figure out a way, and now TNA, and appreciate his commitment to being part of it. So, yeah, get out there and support it, or get me your donations. Get me your donations right now. I'm just I literally myself, I just went through and bought 50 boxes worth of breakfast bars right now. So you want me to get more? I'd like to get more. You know the deal. You know how it works. Hit me up, Venmo or PayPal. $25. I'll get chopped, and we'll make a video of it, and we'll personalize it to you. The whole deal.
Remind me, I will bring a check next Friday.
Look at you. Well, we're not here next Friday, actually, Stan. I meant to tell you that.
Well,
we're going to take the week off.
Yes. You'll have forgotten it by then.
Yeah.
No, don't forget. I want to.
I appreciate that, Stan. I'm doing we're going to do Project Game Day on Thanksgiving night. We're doing it, of course, this Sunday, following Ravens Jets. Come hang out with us. PressBoxOnline.com/gameday. Myself, Rita, KZ, Stecca, Griffin, and former Ravens linebacker Tyus Bowser will be with you following Ravens Jets this Sunday. PressBoxOnline.com/gameday. It's all brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org, the Costas Inn and Live Casino and Hotel. And then we're going to do it again on Thanksgiving night. The problem was I then have to turn around and work at 4 in the morning on Friday. So
no sleep.
Yeah.
No
sleep till 98
the
Rock.
end of the
Yeah,
radio
right.
show.
So we're not going to be doing GCR next Friday. Some years we tried, let's do it at a different time, or nope, we're not messing around with it. We are taking the day off next Friday because I will not be able to function. That's just the reality of the circumstances. All right. You want to get a tidbit? Tidbit? No? Okay.
Stan said you were going to preview Feast Week, right, Stan? Is that right?
Preview what?
Feast Week?
All the big college basketball tournaments happening.
Multi-team events that we got
not
going.
prepared for that.
Tidbit is brought to you today by the print issue of PressBox, which is available at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. Of course, go pick it up. Jim Smith, Maryland Athletic Director, on the cover. Great story from Don Marcus. Lots of college basketball content inside that print issue of PressBox. You can also read it for free at PressBoxOnline.com. What you got?
I'll go with. I'll credit J.J. Cooper because it was I thought it was interesting. You mentioned Mitch Keller, as of course he is 10th most innings pitched the last 4 seasons.
You're not really going to ask who had the most innings pitched
over the last 4 seasons.
Jesus.
4 of the remaining top 9 are free agents.
Framber Valdez.
Framber Valdez is number 2. Most innings pitched
Michael King.
in the last 4 seasons. No Michael King.
Dylan Cease.
Dylan Cease is 8th.
Just despite the fact that he was on an innings limit at one point, right?
Yeah. Valdez at
2 more
767.
free agents this year?
Yes.
I'm trying to think of who the other free agent pitchers are. Man. All right, I'm just gonna start naming
Ranger
pitchers.
Suarez.
No.
He's a free agent. That is true.
Free agents.
I'm not focusing on free agents anymore. I'm just guessing pitchers.
Number 1 on this list has more than 50 innings pitched than Framber Valdez. He's been a workhorse.
He's a workhorse. And he's a free agent.
He is not a free agent. Number 1 is not a free agent.
Oh, number 1's not a free agent. I thought we were
2 other guys on the list are free agents.
Number 3 and number 6.
All right, Max Fried.
Nope.
Not Crochet. He definitely isn't there.
This is over the last how many years?
4 seasons.
4 seasons. So it's not Garrett Crochet.
No.
And not Scooble either, because he was hurt 3 years ago, the year I had him in fantasy.
Rodon.
Sucks for him. Jeez. No Rodon.
Webb on the Giants?
Logan Webb, the most innings, 820 over the last 4 seasons.
How about that?
For Logan Webb of the San Francisco
we're missing
Giants.
one more?
No, we're missing
a
bunch of
more?
other
Yeah.
guys.
12 more.
Aaron Nola.
No, not Nola. If he had been better this season, maybe, but no.
How about Wheeler?
No Wheeler. They are both right outside the top 10, 12 and 13.
Because they were hurt this year.
Yes.
Zach Gallen.
Zach Gallen is number
Free
3.
agent.
Yep,
Very
free
good.
agent.
Very good.
Webb, Valdez, Gallen. So 2 of the top 3 are free agents.
What about Garrett Cole?
No Garrett Cole.
The last year not pitching is the issue.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I totally forgot
That'll
about
do
that.
it every time.
Yeah, we'll do it every time. You're right.
How about...
Somehow Dean Kramer's on this list.
No, not Dean
How about
Kramer.
Kevin Gausman?
Yes, Kevin Gausman, number 4 on the list. And there are still 2 other Blue Jays.
2 other Blue Jays?
Chris Bassett.
Chris Bassett, he's available. He's
the same.
About that?
Great minds.
He's number 6.
How about that?
And another
Blue Jay.
Not Max.
Mm-mm.
Barrios.
Yes, Jose
Oh,
Barrios.
right. Yeah.
Even though he
2
missed
others.
a good bit of this season.
There's still 2 more. Guide us there.
One is I'm trying to figure out how the best way to. I think Stan picked him for a Cy Young. I think in our preseason picks.
I don't remember Stan picked for our Cy Young.
Yeah, Stan.
I didn't have Skeens. I changed to Skeens.
No, your American League pick.
American League. Well, can't be Burns.
It was wrong, obviously.
This year?
Yeah, this past season.
This year.
He did not win the Cy Young.
Thank you for that update.
Who did I pick this year?
I don't remember who you picked this year.
I thought I picked Crochet this year. But
All
that
right.
might have been before the season.
Give us something else.
AL West.
AL West.
Oh, Logan Gilbert.
Logan Gilbert.
Oh.
9th most innings over the last 4 seasons. And number 5 on this list is, I don't know any hint I can give you. A National League Central.
Central?
Yeah. NL Central.
NL Central.
Yes.
NL Central. Mitch Keller.
Close. His first name starts with an M.
Miles Mikolas. Yeah.
Is it Mikolas? Michaelos? I don't know. I've heard it in several different ways. Miles Michaelos. 5th most.
How about that?
Mykonos.
All right, here's what's coming up this weekend, totally tubular-wise. Tonight, Loyola plays at Kentucky at 7 o'clock. That's on ESPN+. Plus. Morgan's at Old Dominion at 7, also on ESPN+. Plus. Tomorrow, Michigan-Maryland football, 4 on Big Ten Network. Get out there beforehand to support AJ's food drive. Towson football wraps up their season 1 o'clock at home against Campbell on Flow Sports.
What's their record this year, Towson? Roughly.
I think we're
I mean,
like
they won 4 games.
They
we're
won
5
last
and
week.
6.
Yeah. Oh, no, they didn't.
Or 6 and 5 or 5 and 6. One of the 2.
Hang on, I'll tell you in 2 seconds.
Need to be better. That's what
Yes,
we need
that
to be.
part
That's
for
what we need to be.
sure.
5 and 6.
5 and 6 is the
That's not
answer.
horrible.
I mean,
It's not horrible, is correct. Morgan also wraps up their football season at home against North Carolina Central tomorrow noon on ESPN+.
especially when there's a couple games in there and we should have won, and then kind of gave away late.
Coppin VCU basketball tomorrow night, 7:30 on ESPN Plus nationally. Also, you can watch it on TV on Masson tomorrow night if you want to see the Eagles. The local TV games on Sunday, of course, CBS for Jets Ravens at 1 with Andrew Catalan, Charles Davis, and Jason McCourty. Fox will have Vikings Packers at 1, and then Eagles Cowboys will be the big national game at 4:25. Buccaneers Rams Sunday night 8:20 on NBC. And Maryland will face North Carolina in the NCAA soccer tournament Sunday at 1 on ESPN+. Carolina needed PKs to survive against North Florida in the opening round last night and advanced to face Maryland in round 2 as Maryland had the bye as the number 4 overall seed. Everything else you can find at glennclarkradio.com. Non-sports?
Not really. Bad Guys 2 is streaming on Peacock.
My kids will probably watch it.
An episode of Landman. There's really nothing. I don't know why everyone gave up this week, non-sports wise.
Okay.
By
Dynamite.
the way, Las Vegas Sun football points expert. I forget his name. Keenan. Case Keenan. Or no, it's not Case Keenan.
I don't think it's Case Keenum,
no. It's not
I don't
Case
think
Keenum.
it is.
Could be.
But his name is Keenan, I think.
Okay.
Anyway, his I always go to his Las Vegas Sun.
Oh, yeah, the Las Vegas Grand Prix this weekend. You didn't mention that. F1.
Arizona.
I'll take Verstappen.
I took Jacksonville. He has Arizona in that game, and he has the Rams besting the
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see what he knows. I think we're the experts here. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the Vegas handicapper now. Look at me.
Yeah, that in your stat. Your
record
record
this
doesn't.
year?
Yeah, your record
just
doesn't.
over 500. Just over 500.
But you do have the 2 parlay.
I do, that's right.
twists.
All right. Thanks to Stan. Of course, at Stan the Fan is how you follow him. Thanks also today to AJ. Thanks to JJ Cooper and to Anthony Becht. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the
Sebastian Maniscalco's got a comedy special on Hulu.
tab at glennclarkradio.com. A bat around tomorrow morning from 10 to it's starting at 10 o'clock. Paul and Zach are going to get together.
Your butthole might be clean.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, right. I don't know what's going on there.
Some air pocket.
Ooh, boy. They're going to get together to talk about the fallout from the Grayson Rodriguez trade and what might be coming for the Orioles. Of course, we'll have game day on Sunday and then back here on Monday for GCR. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including the Costas Inn Live Casino and Hotel, Game Day Men's Health, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, CountySports.zone, your local Toyota dealer, BuyAToyota.com, the Baltimore Area Highs Dairy Stores, and Nick's Fish House. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great weekend. Go Ravens, go Terps, go Navy, Morgan. Oh, no, Navy doesn't play this weekend. Morgan, Towson, all the hoops teams.
I think Navy
Duke
basketball
sucks. There you go.